still live? Yes, we are.
Are we still live? We are.
Yes.
Good. Brilliant. Should get no echo. So, well, technology again, it does wonderful things. We get there in the end. There's probably a bit of a latency, a bit of a delay between here and YouTube, but I've set it to the smallest latency so that if we do get any questions, about 10 seconds behind. So welcome, ladies. Welcome, all of you. It's nice to see you. I think it's the first time I've seen you all together like this for a while, since we finished the Bloomz on tour. And what a last 6 months it's been. All of you have survived, I think, haven't you?
Only just
about. You all fit. Who thinks they will never ever do this experience again? Right.
Oh.
It was
fun.
It was
really good. Really good.
It was fun. And for those of you that are watching that haven't seen the previous episodes that we put up, basically, the Bloomz is an art house collective of 7 different artists from around the world who specialize in different types of art, different artistic medium. And we thought it would be great fun to try each other's art forms they've probably never done before. So challenges were set, swear words were issued, and horrified looks were seen on the opening of the envelopes explaining what those challenges were. And I think, from my point of view, you all did amazingly well. You really did. It was my job to sort of corral you all together. It was like juggling cats and trying to get you all to hone into getting these little bits of video done. And it was great because I got so much material that I could pick and choose from. Sometimes it was the right way up. Other times it wasn't the right way up. But we got there in the end. It was, I would say it was quite an ambitious thing all together, because it's not the easiest thing when we're not a production company. We haven't done a TV show before, and so to get it all where we all worked in unison was great. And we've got episodes on YouTube now that will be there forever that people can look at, and you never know, we might get approached by a production company saying we like that idea, let's take it one stage further. Who knows? So let's sort of chat to you all individually, whatever, about how you thought it all went. Anyone want to kick us off on your sort of overall view of the tour?
Yeah, I'll start.
It's going to be Steph. She always.
Yeah, I'll go.
Who's going to start? Who's that? Sammy.
Well, because before we did all this, all I kept telling everybody was that I can't draw and paint. And then we did the first challenge, where I did a drawing and painted it. And I will never say that again. And I think all of the challenges were like that, where I just perceived I lived in my lane, doing my needle felting, and everything else wasn't really me. I enjoyed everybody else's, and I dived into your worlds occasionally. But to actually properly have a go at everything, it just realised that, and I think that's what we were trying to do, was it was encourage everybody to have a go. And you suddenly realised that not some of them, I thought I might not be returning to this, but I still learned something about it. And then I feed that back into what I do. And what I have also realised was, by my sculpting and needle felting, it has also helped me to draw and paint and see things in that. And because we're always learning, I've always said can't draw and paint, but that was a long time ago when I had that thought. I just never let it go. I've just always carried that with me. And sometimes you just have to sort of go, well, that is of then, that's not necessarily of now. Let me just open myself up to it, And I kept saying, I'm going to buy the cheapest stuff. I'm gonna give it a go and have a play. And I just found that I astounded myself. And what I hope is that even if just one person looks at our challenges and has a go and astounds themselves, then I go, job done.
That's also been one of the aims of this series is to encourage people who maybe have just dipped into art, maybe have never done art before. Not how easy it is to do this, but it's no one's going to judge you if you have a go.
Yeah.
You can have a go. All the details of each of the challenges is on the Bloomz website, and with a list of materials you need. And also what you wouldn't normally get is you've got 7 other artists here willing to help you and to pass critical, encouraging comment on what you produce and how you could get a little bit better. But from all of you, I said earlier, are individual artists with your own specialization. It must have been doubly difficult for you lot to go out of that comfort zone. It's all right, other people having a go at all these, but if you're particularly, Cindy, as an animal artist, working in watercolors and acrylics,
yeah.
So then all of a sudden have to do oil painting. How did you cope with that?
Not well. I honestly, oil is something I've been interested in a while, and like the girls will tell you, I've asked lots of questions of Fiona several times over about it, and you know, I've had some products there for a while, but I'd never actually got around to having a go, and it was so much harder than I was anticipating. It's because it's so very different to working with the quick drying acrylics, and watercolor, like, is just a completely different animal again. So this is like another completely different method of painting that I now have to get much better at, shall we say.
So yeah. You also would have said that painter.
Sorry, I missed that one. Was that? It didn't come through.
I said that you also said that you weren't really a portrait painter.
Correct.
And yet you handled Elisa's task amazingly.
I was very surprised at my result from Elisa's challenge, so I'm very grateful to her for that, because I actually really enjoyed painting the face and getting that out. So we may see more of those coming in the future. Okay. I did actually really enjoy doing that challenge a lot. So yeah, I actually, in the end, despite all my complaining and moaning, actually did enjoy everybody's challenges. And I did enjoy creating them all and having to go at them all. There are some, like the portraits with Elisa's, that I will do more of, I think, definitely in the future. And oil painting will be there. I will slowly master it, but I think it will take time for me to get there. I think the needle felting will be more of a hobby situation for me. I did like it as I don't have to think about this so much, because I don't know, maybe that will change in the future, but at the moment I don't see myself getting and spending the amount of time I think would be required to master it like Steph has. I can make simple shapes and things now, and I think that's enough for me to have fun and just, you know, enjoy that. And I think that one might stay in that lane for now. The wax, I'm undecided on. Sorry, Julie. I'm undecided on that one about it was much harder to make things work the way I wanted to in the wax, and paint I can control mostly, and things like that. The wax, even watercolor I can control a bit to some degree. The wax, that was a whole different animal. So that one I'm on the fence about still, but I appreciated all of the challenges and how much they all pushed me to try different things, expand, you know, all my thought processes, and even just to appreciate the talents of all my fellow members, because I found it gave a good insight into how much talent everybody else has. I knew everybody was really talented, don't get me wrong, but I think doing the challenges just gives you that extra insight into how much work they have put into becoming the masters of their craft that they are.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, one thing I got from your footage, if ever I wanted an honest opinion about what a particular challenge, Cindy would be the one telling me that in the footage that she sent over, because it was just raw honesty. You know, it was just great. It was wonderful. Julie, you obviously, like everybody else, comfort zones were pushed a little bit. Was there one particular challenge that you felt partway through that it was just not going to get there, or was that all of them? Or
no, Fiona's, oh my goodness, I just struggled so much. I thought I was going to take to that, no problem, because I use palette knives with my wax quite regularly. But with the oil paints and controlling that, oh, I found that such hard work. Yeah, really appreciated what goes into that as an oil painter. So I mean, I just ended up with it everywhere. I mean, how you stay so clean, Fiona, I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, I did enjoy it, but oh god, oh my goodness, it was just like, oh, and I mean, you often go through that with a painting. You kind of go through this middle ground of like, is it ever going to come together? And I kind of, you know, I did kind of pull some format together in the end, but yeah, I really struggled with that one. And Stephanie's as well, actually. In the middle, I was just like, if I keep going anymore with these blooming needles. But then towards the end, when it was nearly there, I was like, oh, I'll just refine that a little bit, and I'll just add a little bit more onto that one. So yeah, I definitely had that sort of middle ground with Fiona and Stephanie's. But I think all the others, I really, really enjoyed. I just got right into how they went about, and I think also those of you that know me know that I'm not a great preparation girl. I kind of like to just so I really enjoyed watching. Surprises me, I know. But I really enjoyed seeing how everybody else approached the task in terms of like gridding out their paper, and you know, I tried a couple of times to do sketches, and it just, yeah, I'm just like, I just lose interest before I've even begun. I just like to go in and start adjusting it as I go, which I think is why I get on so well with the wax, because as Cindy says, it's there's just no point really in doing that. You know, you're better off just adjusting as you go. But I really learned a lot from how everybody else approached the tasks, and yeah, I enjoyed that. But no, I really enjoyed, yeah, all of them I did enjoy. I'd say I struggled with Fiona and Stephanie's the most, but yeah, Elisa, Cindy, and Sammy's, I really, really enjoyed those, and I just felt that I connected with all of them. But I just got on really well with them, and you know, it was I was like absolutely buzzing. I didn't have that sort of middle ground that I had with Fiona's and Stephanie's, but yeah, it was good. It was good.
With more prayer, I think, in some of them than wing. So it was sort of halfway through your videos that you sent me, there was always a piece to camera halfway through where, you know, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to have to pull this out the bag somehow. Your own art, that's probably what you go through anyway, and you know that you're going to be able to turn it around. But when it's art, a form of art that you've never done before, it must be doubly difficult to to think, is this actually going to come? And yet the pieces you all produced were just fantastic. We're not going to harp on with the format of the video clips I received, Sammy, but safe to say, you seem to have some fun and trials and tribulations with some of yours, and your emotions are very clear to see on the video clips that I received from you. Almost tears at some point, but you got there in the end, and you look as though you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, I think for me, at the very beginning, because I'm in awe of the amazing talent and the depth of knowledge every artist has, I thought I just wanted to do well for them. I didn't want to let them down. And that's something I have to work on in my own head, but so I found each of the challenges a real challenge, because I was thinking, I don't want to let anyone down. I want to do my best. And so, yes, when I was making the videos, and some of the stuff I didn't actually send because I was at points literally in tears. I thought, I can't do this. And I think it was just the pressure I was putting on myself. And once I relaxed into it, I enjoyed all the tasks. I just felt that if what we were wanting to do is get other people to do the art as well, and if this is how I'm feeling, I needed to want to say to people watching, just have a go and relax, and no one's judging you. It's only you and your own thoughts, and you've got to get out of that mindset and just play and relax and enjoy it, because all the tasks, all the instructions are there. You just follow it and make it fun, make it enjoyable. And I think that's what I learned as I went on, to relax into it. Yeah.
Do you think you also learnt the difference between grams and ounces, probably? The amount of wool you
Look, no, I measured Stephanie's wool on my scales. I look like a little drug dealer with my little scale to get my wool out. And I don't know what happened, but this octopus was growing and growing and growing. But what I'm hoping for is that, is it Henderson's?
Yeah.
Duck Buttery? They will come and say, we want you for a Muppet designer.
Yes, absolutely.
But you have to watch the film to see it.
I'll give Jim Henson a ring and see if he... I just hope they don't breed. I just... But joking apart, though, it is about learning. It's about learning as artists yourself, which must be difficult to try and sort of break away from what you normally know to bring in all these others. And that's what we're hoping that people that that see this realize, that you as artists go through the same worries and concerns when trying something different as everybody else does. So Mac, can we go to you now? Hello. Some of your designs, you put a lot of effort into. I'm thinking particularly of the one with the lovely, was it the Turkish metalwork on top? Was that Sammy's?
That was Sammy's, and the metalwork is sacred geometry. It's called the Seed of Life, and it's about, obviously, circles of life and death. Yes.
Because the thoughts that you put in different pieces of work are probably different from other people's, aren't they?
They tend to be, yes. Yes, I tend to have a...
Go on, sorry, go on.
It's quite all right. I don't know where my mind was going there. I think there's a slightly delay in the video, so I'm sorry.
I think there is a delay. Yeah, I think it's got something to do with the streaming. So, what do you think you've learned from Mac from these tasks that you probably didn't know before or hadn't thought about before?
That having challenges 1 month after another month is not for me. I need a longer space of time because I just keep having setbacks, and that really reduces the amount of time that I can do a task. And that was the most difficult of the challenge. But for me, like Steffi said, she couldn't draw or paint, whereas I've done that many, many years ago. And so I knew how to do it. And I was initially, when I started with Cindy's, I was comparing myself to I was then, and knowing that I was not doing so well. And I just kept going with it. And at that time challenge, it was hilarious. You could do a sketch. I literally could only focus that distance away. So I was trying to focus, having a setback. My short-term memory wasn't there. So I kept focusing. Now, where was that line? What angle? Oh, and I kept having to go back and forward. So it took ages to do any line, hence the grids got smaller and smaller. So it's a wonder that I managed to do anything at all. But once I get into it, then I kind of, it's okay. You just having to relearn. So relearning, and I just love playing and experimenting, as you all know. So the rest of the challenge was great fun. Fiona's doing paint, sculpting, painting with palette knives, and I typically chose a very intricate scene. So I was kind of like, oh, how can I do this to make it easier? Anyway, so, but I love them. I love the encaustic wax. Unfortunately, Elisa, I didn't manage to do the painting. I only managed to do the drawing for yours, but I showed you the drawing. Stephanie's, I had fun creating the octopus and putting a little slant on it. Sammy's, the piece with the sacred geometry, I loved, and it was delving into themes that I work with quite often, so that was really beautiful. Who else have I forgotten? Have I forgotten somebody? And I've mentioned you, Cindy. So thank you all for the challenges. I really, really appreciate it. And it helped me see that I can broaden my work even more. So thank you.
Yeah, you took a very analytical approach to quite a lot of the projects with the gridding and everything. Fiona, your art is predominantly landscapes. You do portraits, but you work in oils. Faced with watercolors, immediate reaction was what?
Right. Well, I think
We are live, so don't swear.
I think I can probably cover a general thing there, in that whereas when I'm doing demos and things, I keep saying to people, look, just do it, just have a go, it's fun, it's a bit of canvas, it's a bit of paint or paper and whatever, just try it and play, have fun. And then I came to do the challenges, and I didn't keep telling myself the same as I would do if I was demonstrating to someone else. So a bit like Sammy, I really wanted to do well at these, because I've studied what each of the other artists does and how they work and what their work looks like. And then I go ahead and produce something that doesn't, I'm not trying to copy their work, but trying to emulate their procedures and their approach to it, which, is fine, not just a copy. But I really need to do this play thing more. So, anybody who's looking at this and thinking of doing a challenge, play. I need to tell myself, play, do it, splash some paint about, maybe get some on my hands even,
That'll be a first.
Yeah, snapping all over, Fiona.
Yeah. just to actually play some more and not worry about, is it going to turn out to be fit to be seen? Like my first encaustic piece, and I just thought, no, I can't show that to someone. But when I showed the one that I put into the challenge and the other one, a guy said, well, actually, I prefer the first one, which I thought was just, I have it here. I just thought it looks a complete mess.
No.
But that's fine. I should have let it be a mess and maybe made more mess on top. I did find the encaustics difficult because I didn't have the right sort of equipment. And I would like to do a course, Julie, when you've got it ready in person, a course. Yeah. I really would like to do that, and using proper equipment to make life a little bit easier. I'm not saying it'll be a walk in the park, but to make the techie side of it a bit easier, keeping the wax molten for a start.
Yeah.
But yeah, I needed to loosen up some more, like the abstract for Sammy's one. I really enjoyed it, and I actually enjoyed writing about it to start with, about my piece of music and what it was saying to me and memories that it brought up and so on. And the same writing for Elisa's one as well, from the photograph. But when I came to do the abstract painting, I was going to have it a lot looser, but it just sort of didn't happen. and I need to let that go and think, okay, well, if it goes wrong, I can just cover it with some more paint. I can do whatever I like to it, or sand it down, whatever. So I think that was my big learning thing from this, which I'm always trying to do in my own work anyway, to loosen up, to allow things to be wrong. They don't have to be perfect, and they're often a lot better for not being perfect, for having broken edges and little odds and ends that don't work quite the way that you might think they should, but they just work within the picture or the painting, and just to leave them, but I enjoyed all the challenges. Great fun seeing what I could do. I think I would definitely, so I want to do some encaustic, but do it properly, or proper equipment. I've got quite a lot of wool left over because my scales were obviously on a different system from Sammy's, so I've got quite a lot left, and so I quite fancy doing something with what I've got left. I enjoyed that. I thought it was going to be a bit, I don't know, but I really did enjoy that one. Well, I enjoyed them all. I enjoyed all of them, and I learned something from each one. And as others have already said in this program, a lot more respect for how the other artists create their work as well and make it look easy. And I think that's the sign of someone who's got to that level in their art, when they make it look easy to other people, but then you try it and you think, yeah, I've got a little way to go and I need a bit of practice here. So never be put off by not doing it perfectly, because it's like a concert pianist. They don't just go on stage and play. They practice every day for hours, then they go and play. So you don't get to a level that you want to be at without that practice that goes on behind the scenes beforehand. So keep practicing, everybody.
Yeah. Good words there, Fiona. Well, now, Elisa, I don't think anybody in this group puts more passion into what they do, their sort of the way that they effuse about their work than you do. Whenever I got videos from you, I listened to your voice first of all before I even watched what you were doing, because it was full of the Italian, the sort of the strength of your passion for everything, really. So you took all of these tasks by the scruff of the neck, didn't you, and really went for them?
I think that first thing that comes to my mind is that I could have managed my time better, especially for Julie and Fiona's task, because I think that the final outcome could have been better if I just had the patience, maybe, and the right timing to concentrate a little bit more. So it's up to me, not managing the time well. And this didn't happen with Cindy and Sammy and Stephanie. Maybe I just, did those pieces of art in a state of mind which was calmer and a little bit more focused. But I think that the overall Bloomz on Tour experience helped me to convince me more and more that stereotypes really are useless in the world of art. Because when I hear people talking in galleries, in museums, abstract is something that I can't understand. And this is a stereotype, because if you have someone that tells you how to approach abstract art, how to learn how to make abstract art, and Sammy knows that in the past, I approached there and asked for books to learn the basic techniques. And so abstract is something that we can really manage as artists as a fundamental layer, for example, for portraits for me. But I think that encaustic basis is strength on abstract. I think, Julie, you may agree with me. So this is just an example of how our work of, spreading the knowledge about art as a group is useful, and our experience has been useful for us to bring something back in our bag and then use it for the future. I think I will, definitely. And I don't know if I will make again encaustic pieces. Maybe I have works there, and who knows? I really can't plan, but for sure I will use everything that you suggested for my knowledge and to grow again and more in the future. So I think the mission is completed.
Well, I mean, I say from my point of view, as to pull it all together, it's been a joy because it's given me an insight even more into each of your lives and your art and how you approach things. And I'm not an artist in that way. I mean, my lamps are my art, but all of these other forms of art, it's even given me a thought that maybe I'd want to have a little go. And Steph and I took that one step further last weekend when we went to learn how to make inks and paints from natural sources, plants and rocks. And yeah, I mean, I was Steph's +1. Julie, you missed answer. I know that you were the first invite, Julie.
You'd have loved it,
but
Julie.
You missed out on it.
Really
and I thought, well, I go along. I didn't want Steph to go on her own. My background is in science and horticulture. And of course, this was the perfect mixture of both of those disciplines for me. And it was the most enthralling weekend. And I kept thinking, yes, I could have done that on a piece of watercolor or an abstract piece. And then I was thinking of all the ways that I could dabble and have a go at it. But the joy would be making our own pigments that nobody else would have. Because if you use two plants the same, you're never going to get the same strength of pigment from both plants. So now our thoughts for when we get to Wales next week is not to just have the greenhouse and fill it full of the normal plants. We're going to be growing plants to make pigments from. We're going to go and madder and weld, and I'm already looking online to find oak galls to make the lovely deep rich purple black ink.
We're also going to be foraging. We're also going to be foraging on our Friday walks. Yeah.
So I mean, and I probably wouldn't have lent towards that had it not been for editing this series, because it's really got me to think about all the different art forms. And I've always loved Julie's encaustic, and I've always wanted to have a go at that. From the moment I saw you do that little bit of video with the lavender bits, and then I just thought, this is not real. It was so magical. And when you take the time to look at proper artists doing their work and explaining their processes, which is what you all do freely and generously to anybody that wants to see, that's when a person's interest and love of art begins to flourish. And you might not turn out to be the best artist, but as I think Fiona said, have a go, dabble, have a go, make marks on the canvas. So that's the one thing that Sammy always says is, start off, make a mark on the canvas and go from there. Bring in some of Lisa's passion, and so I think for me this has been a good series to do. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you all on this, and I would say we have ideas for other in the future, other Bloomz on Tour type of series. We've learned a lot from doing this. We learned, the therapy for us all, because you've all gone through a process with each of the times you've done a challenge. Sometimes that process might not have been a very nice process to start with, if it's an art form. I mean, one of the funniest things was watching Sammy's reaction to the opening of the envelopes each time, because that was just, I mean, for those of you that, if there's one bit you need to go and look at in all the Bloomz on Tour, is look at the opening of the envelope and Sammy's face. You cannot hide your emotions, Sammy, and it's just brilliant. So it's been fun.
I think the beautiful thing about this for me is that I've learned so much from everyone that all it can do is enhance my own practice.
Absolutely.
And so I'm grateful to everyone for being so generous in sharing their knowledge. And that's what you rarely find with artists. You find very few artists that want to share their knowledge. But this group Yeah, we all want to share because we all want everyone to find that creativity within them because it's there. They've just locked it away.
Or they've told themselves, like me, told themselves a
Very well
story, and they've just stayed with that rather than saying, well, let me actually have a look at that again and see if that is still the same or not. Yeah, absolutely.
And going back to the envelopes, the other thing I found as well is just that fear of getting, you'd got, like, say, you get the envelope. I'm like, I would procrastinate actually starting for ages. And once I started, I was like, oh, that's it, I'm off and away now. But yeah, it's that kind of getting over that hurdle of actually starting and doing it. So it was a
Do you think that you are particular about the art that you do? Do you think is that why you because you're for the thought of doing watercolors or oils was so scary that you put it off for a bit? Or
no, I was excited by it, but I still had this period where I almost had to, it was like, I don't know about had to, but I was going through this, and I think it's probably that perfection thing. Am I going to do well enough? This is being recorded, it's going out on film. I'm going to make a complete and utter fool of myself with this, and it's just this sort of in your mind that talks you out of it before you, and then once I started, I'm like, "Oi, I'm off and away." But
I think that's exactly it, Julie. Sorry, Steph. I think that's exactly it. I experienced that in particular with Elisa's challenge, because I was really scared to attempt a face because I was pretty sure it wasn't going to come out like a face. If it had fur on it, that's different. I was really concerned about that, and I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and I only actually did it like right up very close to the deadline. Elisa's one.
Deadlines were good
and
going, yeah.
But once I sat down and actually started it, I really loved it, got into it. I enjoyed it. It was fabulous. I was just really scared to actually take those first couple of paint strokes and get going. And I do think it was that perfectionist fear. And
I was like that with Sammy's as well.
How bad is it going to be?
I know, yeah. I was like that with Sammy's, having to write the essay first because there was so much planning in it, and I don't do planning. And
that's me, Julie. I was right there with you the whole way.
Yeah. And once I got into it,
the way we work is very similar in that regard. I think we just go with gut and intuition, and just let it flow and happen. Unlike Sammy, who loves to plan everything out from the start with all of that. Trying to write an essay, oh my goodness, no. That nearly killed me, Sammy, I swear.
And once I got into it and started it, I did actually really enjoy it as part of the process. So it definitely expanded. So yeah.
It's so interesting because a lot of people watching this wouldn't expect this reaction from artists I think they'll be able to easily move and do another piece of art, the artists easily. So it's almost like a psychology exercise.
Definitely.
And seeing artists suffer sort of thing. So, but it's great because you said earlier, go on, Steph.
No, I was just going to say that with me saying, oh, I can't draw, I can't paint, I do my thing over here. I almost gave myself that I didn't have that perfection and issue. I said from the start when we were talking about it before we did it, oh, you might get matchstick men from me because I can't draw or paint. So I set my bar incredibly low and just went, just go on and do it. And so that was why I didn't have that. And I think if anybody is saying to themselves, I can't draw, or I can't paint, use that as the positive that I had as a positive, because I just went, well, my bar's down there. You can't fail. So, just go, give it a go, and be surprised. Because it's also interesting that Cindy, the one that you were scared of, is the one that you're so pleased with that you could do.
True.
And now you're going to do that. So it's like, they're the ones, aren't they? When we go, I can actually do that. Me with watercolor and do that. I'm just so pleased, So now I'm going paints.
At least nobody cut their ear off. I think we all got there in the end. I think of all the tasks, I think Sammy's was, for me, editing the most interesting because of the musical aspect to it and the essay writing you had to go through. And to watch and the interesting choices of music that you all chose, as some of them, Fiona, quite unusual.
To
just,
seem
it was,
unusual to me.
look, for everybody else, the revelations that came with it from the younger days were amazing, you know. But I think that was something to see, for me, to see all the way that you work and how you make it look so easy in your normal artistic lives, but then other artists that are as talented as you can struggle getting to grips with, struggle at the start, because none of you struggled at the end. They all came out to be perfectly acceptable pieces of art, and the artist reviews show that. There was very little negative criticism, or there was lots of constructive criticism, but nothing that I thought, my God, this is awful, they're going to say. But no, there was little ideas, a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that, or, you know, it was encouraging. And that's what you are as artists to everybody that ever approaches you, is encouraging. And I think that's the one thing that we all need to be, is encouraging to other people to start something.
I think a very important thing to keep in mind is actually Steph's music for Sammy's Task. This is me.
Yep.
This is me.
I think we all need to keep that in mind. This is me. This is what I do. This is how I do it. It won't be like anybody else, because this is me. And if people don't like it, they're not my people. You know, just do it. Just be authentic. Keep in mind, this is me. This is how I do it. And not worry about what other people think. Enjoy it. Play and enjoy.
I was just going to say, enjoy. That's the big word. Enjoy whatever type of art you try your hand at, enjoy it. Because, you know, if you don't allow yourself that freedom to enjoy it, and you stay restricted, you're not going to get anything out of it. And we all know, and I mentioned it earlier, what a good therapy art is. If you're feeling a little bit, you know, or even if you have Mondays where you feel really up and really, I'm going to do, then grab your canvas, grab your wall, grab your whatever, and do something. And, you know, whether you show anybody else, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it comes out, as long as you've enjoyed it and you've had a go. Absolutely. Well, how's the time go? I think we've done 3/4 of an hour. I think that's probably enough. Anybody else got any closing comments to say at all?
Yes, I would like to, if I may.
Of course, Matt. Yeah.
Thank you. Lots of people at school have been told they can't draw and paint. I think that's the saddest thing out there. Everybody can create artwork. It's just finding what you love, and that is the most important thing, and play. The analytical stuff can come at the end. The analytical stuff, you can look at it and go, what do you like, what you don't like? Very, very simple. But we all can create, and so having a go can be fun.
Yeah. I think
Well said.
so many people never get anywhere with a career. You know, that's sort of one of the things that unfortunately some children. But you're right. You know, you haven't got to be the best artist to enjoy what you do, to enjoy painting, drawing, making something, creating. And creativity comes out of play, doesn't it? It comes out. I think Elise has dropped off, has she? I think, oh, Fiona's just sent me a notification.
Fiona's just dropped off.
I think we may be having a little bit of a, I think, oh, we all, it's like one of those shooting galleries, isn't it? Fiona and Elisa, who are we going to shoot next? I think that's the universe saying, we've had enough of you guys. Go ahead and create. We love what you're doing with your art. Thank you so much for joining us today, everybody, and enjoy your weekend. Keep on painting and keep painting. You do an incredible job. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep on painting.
Yes.
Keep creating.
Having fun.